Welcome to the video for H8-8. This is problem number 11. The directions state, sketch the following graphs without using a calculator. That's easy enough, we can do that. So looking at letter A, let's go ahead here. I'm going to just draw out an x-axis here. And let's look at what we've got in our equation here. Okay, so a couple key things to point out, right? So we've got an x plus 6, right? Which means that our root there is going to be a negative 6, and that is going to be a triple root, right? Because we've got that third power. We've got that x is going to equal 3, and that one's just a single root. And then we've got x equals 1, and that one's a double root. Okay, and then, ooh, something even more important here, right? Let's see, we got that, we got this. Then we've got this negative here. We know this one's going to be negative. So this is a negative function, right? It's got a degree of, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a degree of 6. So its end behaviors here, since it's negative, it's going to be down, down. And then we know here at 1, it's going to bounce. It's going to go straight through 3, and then it's going to make the step at negative 6. So let's take it here and let's label our x-axis. We've got a negative 6 on there. We've got a positive 1 and a positive 3. And we know that there are actually values there. So we'll go ahead and just put those x-coordinates on there. And then we're going to go through here and see, all right, we said that it's got to go down, down. So we know it's going to start down here. It's going to end down here. And let's see here, at negative 6, it's supposed to make a step. So we're going to come up right in front of negative 6, flatten out for a moment, then we'll go back up. At 1, it's supposed to bounce, so we're going to come down here and we're going to bounce at positive 1, come back up. And then at positive 3, we should be going straight through and finishing down below. So that is what our graph should look like for letter A. Now let's look at letter B. Okay, again, I'm going to go ahead here and just draw in my x-axis here. And let's look at the things that we know. So x plus 4, right, we know that's going to give us a root at x equals negative 4. And that's just a single root. At x minus 8, we know that the root is going to be a positive 8, and this one's a double root. So we know we're going to bounce on that one. Then we have 2x plus 3. Well, remember, to get our root value there, we have to set that equal to 0 and solve it, right? So x should equal, wait, whoop, come back. There we go. We have x should equal, subtract 3 and divide by 2, it'd be like negative 1.5, right? Or negative 3 over 2. You could write it either way. Either way, it's a single root. And then the same thing here, 2x minus 5, we set it equal to 0 and solve it. You should get x is equal to 5 halves, which is like 2.5. And that's a single root. So our total degree here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no negative out there that's going to cause it to be negative here, so we know this one's going to be positive. The degree is 5. So that means our end behavior should be down and then up. Remember, if it's positive, it ends up. Let's go ahead here and put our coordinates on. So our lowest coordinate looks like it's negative 4. We have one at negative 3 halves. We'll have one at positive 5 halves. And then one at positive 8. So we'll go ahead and put those x-intercepts right on there. We said we should be ending up and starting down. So we should pass straight through at -4. Should pass straight through -3/2, straight through 5/2, and then we're going to bounce at 8. So it should look something like this. Straight through, straight through, straight through, bounce, and that should be what the graph looks like. This is problem number 11 from worksheet H8-8. If you have questions, please make sure you are reaching out and asking there. Otherwise, good job. You made it.